My name is Christopher Klotz, Director of Spiritual Formation at Lipscomb University in the Athletic Department. We are so grateful for the opportunity that we have to participate with God in using sports for His glory. We're grateful for your interest in how faith and sport intersect. So many think that these two are separate, that faith and sport don't belong together, but we believe that God can use all things for His glory. And so thank you for your interest in wanting to grow and be just an ambassador of God in the environment of sports. This month, I just want to leave you with one pretty simple thought. It's that, we tend to create equations in our mind, whether we think that way or not. Typically, we are building these things towards the other side of an equal sign, which is the thing we want. We see that in sports, right? If you want to get better at your sport, then you get extra reps and you train a little bit harder. Plus, you maybe rest a little bit more and you're focused more on getting adequate sleep. Minus certain foods you stop eating, and so you begin to build pluses and minuses on one side, wanting the desire of whatever's on the other side of that equal sign. We see this in jobs. You want a certain job, well, you've got to have this level of education plus this experience. Plus, you see, we build these things without even subconsciously even knowing. Well, the same is true in our faith journey. And if we're not careful, we begin to stack things into our faith journey in ways that become things that they don't necessarily need to be. Right? We think, okay, following Jesus means I have to go to church, plus I have to worship Him, minus the language I use, plus, and we begin to build an equation for what it looks like to follow Jesus. Now, don't get me wrong. These are great things, and a lot of these things help you get to know the heart of God. But when we talk about an equation in Jesus, there's only one simple equation, and it's this: Jesus plus nothing. Right? Jesus has done it all. The finished work on the cross means that Jesus plus nothing is what your heart longs for and desires to be in right relationship with Him. I want to read Colossians 1, starting in verse 15. And in your Bible, the subheading, it might read something like the supremacy of Christ or the preeminence of Christ. But just listen to these words and think about Jesus plus nothing. I believe God has something for us today. He, speaking about Jesus, is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. For by Him all things were created, and things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or powers or rulers or authorities, all things were created by Him and for Him. He is before all things, and in Him all things hold together. And He is the head of the body, the church. He is the beginning and the firstborn from among the dead, so that in everything He might have the supremacy. For God was pleased to have all the fullness dwell in Him, and through Him to reconcile to Himself all things, whether things on earth or things in heaven, by making peace through His blood shed on the cross. So this month, I just want to challenge you, again, not to become legalistic in the things we're doing for Jesus, but to really press in to being with Jesus, right? Jesus plus nothing is where we'll find abundant, fruitful, incredible life.